Father in heaven, we thank you for gathering us together this day. We ask for your blessings in knowledge and understanding and support to make good decisions for the county. Father, we ask you that you continue to bring us moisture that this country so desperately needs and will be grateful for. Father, we thank you for the blessings you've bestowed upon us, and we pray to you through our Savior, Jesus Christ.
Amen. Amen. Now we'll be led in the pledge by our manager, Ms. Mullen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Is there, we'll ask for an approval on the agenda. Is there any questions or any concerns on the agenda? If you've had opportunity to look over, we'll open the floor for discussion. Is there? I didn't see anything either. Did you?
No, it looks good to me.
All right. Seeing as there none, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion we approve the agenda.
I'll second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We'll go for an approval in minutes, and we have 5 different meetings because we had to have a few different special meetings for various reasons in January. Is there any discussion on any of those minutes? Seeing as there is none, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion we approve the minutes.
I'll second.
It's been motioned and seconded that we approve the minutes on A, B, C, D, and E. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We will now open this time for public comment. During this portion of our meeting, we welcome your suggestions and want to hear your concerns. This is not a question and answer period. Speakers will be limited to 3 minutes. The County Commission is not able to act on matters discussed during public comment, and speakers are requested to state their name for the record. We'll now turn the time over to whoever's here. Yes, ma'am. We would love to hear from you. We were expecting it, and we want to make it a regular
Remember, I
occurrence.
asked for 5 minutes instead of 3.
Well, we'll
You'll
have to
only need
work
a
on
minute.
that. Okay.
I just thought I'd scare you.
Aye.
How's everybody? Anyway, I'm going to make a public comment on behalf of our assessor, Lily Laney. She wanted me to remind you guys that the hearing is March the 4th at 10:30 in the courtroom, and would encourage you guys to be there. There's going to be several assessors from the various parts of the state going to be there, and she would like to plan a potluck for since it's limited seating at the restaurants.
Mr. Chairman, if I might just add to that, under taking away her 3 minutes.
Thank you, Adrian.
Well,
Actually,
I can pause so that she'll get her due
so
time.
the attorney for the assessor's affiliate, yesterday afternoon, or like 5 o'clock, requested a change in that hearing, and he requested that with the court. No change has been granted. Obviously, that was done at 5 o'clock, but I'll let everybody know if it is and when it is. But so they requested it. He said he had a conflict. I don't know why, but
Anyway, she asked me that was.
yeah, no, and I'll make sure everyone knows if there's a change.
Okay, thank you, Adrian.
Thank
But, and my second comment, is I have totally enjoyed my final retirement.
Oh,
I know you guys miss me, but
We do.
I've enjoyed it. My health is improving, and I sleep well.
oh, good. That's awesome.
That's all I had,
All right. Well, thank you, and we appreciate you being here.
certainly.
All right. Anyone else for public comment? Yes, sir.
Buster, thank you.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, Commissioners. Frank Moroz. I had a couple comments. One, I know is personnel involved in its dismissal of Lauren and and of Dusty. I know you can't comment on it, but there's rumors flying everywhere around town and county, some very nasty people. Some of the rumors include you guys, but I would love to see some transparency as to why, what happened, just to clear it up for the people of the county and the community. Now, when it goes back to the hiring of Dusty's replacement, I have read the job description. It's very thorough, very good. I hope we've all learned something by California Rio so that it could happen in any of our communities. And I hope that you'll, when you hire somebody, you hire a very qualified person and that you pay them the wage that they deserve. If not, you're setting them up for failure, you're setting yourselves up for failure, as you did with Dusty. Okay, and it goes the same for a county commissioner, for a county manager. I know there's a lot of good people out there, but you need to do it and do it right, pay them what they're worth, so that you don't set these people up or set yourselves up. And I want to thank Mark for blading our road out at Hatchie Park subdivision Monday. We sure appreciate it, and that's all I have to say, Buster. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Ross. All right. Anyone? Yes, sir, Mr. Keeney.
Zeno Keeney. I was a principal and teacher in Zuni for 6 years, and we had a trash bill up there get us $6 every month. They charge us to pick up the trash at our front door. I ran for county commissioner, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago, and when I ran, the Forest Service had just told us that we couldn't use the landfills here anymore. I don't know, because we wouldn't pollute the water or something. But I went to the BLM, and they said that you could put in they'd sell you a 40-acre tract in Pike Town, New Mexico, for $100 an acre. You could dump all the trash you wanted there because you couldn't hit water for 2,000 feet. No one ever followed up on that. It was my idea, nobody wanted it, and then there was another guy who, not Mark, wanted a contract back then. So that's the reason it was never pursued, but I would think with the county manager and all the people they got working under him now, he could get a hold of the BLM and get that put there. I'd like to know how much money we've paid Arizona to dump our trash over there when we could have been doing it here for nothing. And another thing I'd like to talk about is, you know, we've got Trump and some of these people trying to save money. Is there a way we can start looking at the budget and start saving money instead of hiring all these people and buying all this stuff, moving offices, doing all this crazy stuff? You know, isn't there an accountability? Isn't there any, I don't know, it's like the sheriff's office. Now they want to build a jail. Well, until you get competent people in there that can make sure they don't get out of the cells or die in there for hours, it's not going to do any good to build a new jail. A good example is that little football field we have up here, built up here, cost us $8 million. They haven't played a football game there, and they never will because we don't have the kids. So please think about the money that we're spending on stuff. And if you want to look at some vehicles damaged, go down to the yard, county yard, and look at all the wrecks that the sheriff's department's had down there, and all driving new vehicles. I think maybe they can take some driver's ed classes with the kids they teach, I don't know. But anyway, I'd like somebody to start looking at money, save money for the county, and act like Republicans instead of like the big Democrats in Washington.
All right. Thank you, Zeno. All right. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
My name's Rick Barnes, and I live in the community center. 3 weeks ago, Marilyn Bonnet, our vice president, and I'm the president of the community center. We were here, met with Lauren and Becky and Joyce, and it was on the grant for the new building. We were supposed to talk about this week, but it failed to be put on your agenda, so we'll be back next month. But we were told at that time that the food bank was not allowed to have dedicated space in the building. All three of them, and said it came from the county attorney, that it had to be removed. And I told them as long as they had my back, I'd deliver their messages, which I did last week at a community center meeting. I'm pretty sure you guys are going to hear about it from the food bank. They were adamant that, well, if you don't do this, we're going to quit. And so I'm pretty sure Cindy Cook will be coming to see one or more of you complaining about the mandate that we were given. And I just like to make sure you still got our backs and follow through on that. And then also, this morning as I was driving over here, I got a text from Janice Keeney that asked me to read it. And I have no clue what it's about or anything else. And she says, this one says, "Good morning. I'm not going to be at the meeting. Have too many irons in the fire. From what I understand, the people in Luna feel they are already being taken advantage of by being assessed a yearly fee for trash when there isn't a trash bin here. The least they could do is offer service 1 day a week, especially if prices are going to increase. Asking people to drive 40+ miles to dump their trash contributes to our community hoarding trash, which is not healthy or attractive. We need to have a place to dump so we can encourage pride in our community. Please stand up for us." That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
I'll take a couple of minutes here. I just want to reiterate, the Luna Community Center, what's in question is freezers. There's personal freezers being brought in and locked up and stuff being stored in, and it is a county building for the community, so that was the issue of that somebody storing stuff in a locked up freezer inlet. It could create all kinds of liabilities and stuff.
Okay.
There's also a lot of room.
Yes.
Becky, so have you guys talked to Roadrunner, like, is there anything that says they're supposed to have a freezer and keep food?
I've reached out to them and I haven't heard back. I've reached out to some other sites, and they do store stuff, but not on any
Okay.
county property. They do it themselves personally.
And does Kamado store food?
Yes, Kamado has a room that is locked, it's got a refrigerator, freezer, and 2 freezers in it, and they store extra food that, for whatever reason, didn't get dispersed. And they store it in there, and if they have, like, we usually have about 100 families come through, and if they get 30 turkeys or 30 hams, it's not enough to get out to everybody, so they'll freeze it until the next month, to see if they get enough sheep so that everybody gets it. Because if you give it to 30 and the other 60 don't get it, then you get, why didn't I? So they do store food if there's a good reason for it, but they don't hoard it. It's not anybody's personal food, it is the food pantry, and it's always been that way.
Do you know if years ago there was an agreement with the county, with the community centers, that they were gonna keep food?
I don't know what the original agreement was with the county. I started with the food pantry back in 2004, and there's always been a refrigerator in there, so I do not have any idea what the original agreement was
Yeah.
with the county.
Mrs. Boyer.
I have worked with the Roadrunner a couple of times and talked to them about the difference between they actually have a pantry where you can store food and you can have it open a couple of days a week, which is a different truck. But the trucks that come, on the days they come here once a month, if you talk to Roadrunner, that food is supposed to be distributed within 3 hours of it arriving on site. There's not supposed to be any of it stored, any of it saved. It's all supposed to be handed out, not stored. And that is directly from the coordinator of the food, of Roadrunner.
Right.
She directly said they cannot be stored from those particular trucks. If they open a pantry, which is a whole different paperwork, which I was trying to open one of those in Dattle, but it kind of blew up. But if you have a pantry, you can store food and you can keep the food, and you have the pantry open a couple of days a week for the people that run out of food from the truck coming. That's the purpose of having a pantry, is when the food from the truck runs out and the families don't have food, that they have the ability to go to the pantry and get food. But otherwise, these trucks that come to Catron County on a monthly basis, that food is supposed to be distributed to all the families within 3 hours on the truck. There's no story.
Okay, thank you. All right, so, yeah, during public comment, but it is good for us to gain this information so that we can follow up here, because this is the first that I've known about it, or that there was an issue there and stuff. And so we will follow up on this issue so that we can have clear directive on the part that the community center and the county needs to play in that. Is there anybody else for public comment before we close public comment time? Okay, seeing as there's no one else, we'll move on to department and agency report. We'll open the time for commissioner activities report. Does anyone want to go first? You want to go first?
Sure. Well, I guess there's a lot going on. There's a lot happening with like with the Trump administration. There's a lot of stuff getting froze. I just heard yesterday that Wildlife Services is one of them. So we're gonna try to see what we can do to help them out. In 2 weeks from yesterday, if something's not done, there's not gonna be one field person on the ground, whether they're trapping or doing wolf depredations or anything. They're all going away. And then, and I had a long talk with U.S. Fish and Wildlife. I think they're in the same boat. So I'm not sure, like, if they have nobody on the ground doing anything, what's gonna happen with all that. There's been a lot of meetings. I've been aware of the food pantry thing and working on it, trying to see what's the best way to go about that, just on agreements and stuff, and trying to get to the bottom of that. But anyway, a lot going on. I think that with having Deb as our interim, I think it's been great. I've heard a lot of positive comments, and so I'm happy to be working with her. And anyway, that's my report.
All right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Last month, the commission passed a resolution in opposition to the Antiquities Act, which is generation of national monuments. And it's amazing how that resolution has already gained legs. We've shared it with the Arizona New Mexico Coalition. 15 counties are looking at it, and it appears the majority of those counties are going to place the same act in resolutions. So we're hoping that this is going to continue throughout the West. And it just to confirm with everybody, it will restrict president action from arbitrarily gaining thousands of acres, adding thousands of acres to national monuments without regard of the economy that's surrounding the national monument. So I'm proud of that, the resolution that we passed. I am speaking a lot with our representative in DC. Couple of things going on there. Doug Burgum has been confirmed as the Secretary Interior. So now we're just waiting on pins and needles to find out who's going to be appointed in Fish and Wildlife and some of the other positions that are important to what's happening in our county. We have also confirmed that the Energy Committee, Mike Lee is going to be the chairman, and our good Senator Heinrich is going to be the ranking member. Now those two butt heads regularly, and they're going to be the two most powerful in the committee, and it's important to the county, particularly when you consider some of the things they vote on as wild and scenic. It is one of them. So things are falling into place fairly well with us in Catron County. We just need to find out who is going to be in place for us to visit with and talk to about wild and scenic, the wolves, timber sales, forest management, all of these items, and we're excited. And I don't know if everybody heard, but the past Secretary of Interior, Doug Holland, is going to run as governor for New Mexico. Yes. So anyway, that's my report.
All right, thank you, Audrey and Hayden. For my report, so kind of to pony off of what Mr. Forward was saying, we're trying to position ourselves as a county to take opportunity of the new administration and stuff. So the commissioners will be going back to Washington, D.C. April 7th through the 10th. And we will have as many meetings as we can scheduled so that we can hopefully get some changes on some legislation that affects Catron County and affects the citizens here and the constituents. As far as my report, probably everybody knows January was a busy month for the commissioners. We had multiple meetings, and there's some changes that went on within the county, and we're hoping that the county will continue to progress and that you as citizens and also employees will be able to see changes there. That is pretty much all I have for my report, so we will move on. And I was actually, Lily, thank you for your phone going off because I forgot to silence mine. But no, so on the Forest Service report, we don't have a Forest Service representative here that I'm pretty sure. Randall said no comments at this time. He said we are waiting further direction from our agency on the EOs. He said Celeste Daisy Kinsey is the new reserve ranger, and he said that that both her and Randall will be at the next meeting, so we'll be able to meet them.
Can I add something to the Forest Service
Sure.
report? I had a long discussion with our Forest Supervisor, Camille House, regarding the forest management plan that's in place and the 250 miles of wild and scenic river that they've deemed to be eligible within Catron County. And it was a long discussion. What the bottom line is, the Forest Service has developed their own internal procedures on how to determine if a river is eligible to be deemed wild and scenic. And those procedures do not follow the language in the Wild and Scenic Rivers Law. They have a completely different criteria of language in the Forest Service than the Act itself actually has. So unfortunately, all 250 miles that they wanted designated as wild and scenic, they're holding to that. And I made it clear to the Forest Service that as far as the county is concerned, their internal procedures and documentation should follow the language in the law. It shouldn't follow whatever political position the Forest Service has, right? So that's another reason we're going to DC to talk to them about the 250 miles that they're designated wild and scenic unjustifiably. So that's part of the Forest Service.
Okay, yes, sir. All right, we'll now turn the time over to Mrs. Mahler for the manager's report.
So good morning. So it has been a busy couple weeks. So first off, and Commissioner Forward was there, we met with the fire and EMS chiefs on last Friday. I felt it went well. I don't know what Hayden's feelings were, but I thought it went well. That was regarding the fire administrator position. The majority of the fire chiefs, they did have some input. We have revised what initially Manager Lauren Cushman had created I sent that out as a draft. They commented and we revised further. It has not been, I have not gotten a response from the state fire marshal on that job description though, so I'm still waiting for that. I'm gonna reach out to Stephen again there. But there's really minimal concern with the emergency manager aspects of their, they had more concerns with the fire admin aspect of the position. So I think we're pretty squared away there. We did have a meeting yesterday with Stantec and DOT. So Stantec, just for Hayden's purposes, Stantec is moving forward with the Colonias grant application with the deadline of March 6th for Mangus. Okay, so we're good. We're getting that moving.
Thank you.
Priscilla is going to be in town to assist with the grant file organization next Monday. So that's going to be a huge help for the county staff that's up there. We have a lot that we're trying to kind of organize with that. We met yesterday with Patty and friends for Quamato, so for the community center. So Jerry Laney, we've tasked him with being project manager, so hopefully that project will move forward at a dramatic speed compared to what it has. So we have 2 quotes for structures. We need a third, and then we will move forward with getting that building ordered. Let's see. I have met with a few parties this last couple weeks. They range from the community center use, emergency preparedness, and medical response. So that was a big thing that we dealt with yesterday in Quamato. I had a long meeting with some of the emergency responders there. And obviously grant expenditures. So we're really trying, the grant aspect of things, we really trying to get our arms around that. So we do have interviews on Friday for our accounts payable position. We have 3 applicants.
Oh, good.
Also, the Sheriff's Department is helping the fire department because there is a backlog of background checks. So the Sheriff's Department, I reached out to Keith and he has completed 5 of 9. So I gave him 4 last night, so we can't really, so they've really helped us out with that. But there's been a backlog of those background checks. We have people that are ready and willing to volunteer, but we have to get that paperwork done for them. So that's it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you for stepping in the way you have and stepping up to the plate.
Yes, sir. Is there?
Yes, sir. Sheriff Hughes wanted me to extend his apologies. He woke up feeling under the weather, so he wasn't able to make the meeting this morning.
It's been going around.
It has. A few things real quick. We had 2 deputies that moved on to greener pastures here recently. We're hoping to refill those positions as quick as we can, but we're not inclined to just pick up anybody. We're being pretty selective, so we can keep the momentum and the direction of the department headed where it needs to be. I see on the agenda that y'all are already planning on talking about Omega Road. Sheriff let me know that if we need to move our traffic signs up there to get a vehicle count or something like that, let us know and we'll be happy to do that. But we're all in agreement that a speed limit on Omega Road would be helpful. Burson Road would be helpful. And if there's any way that we could create some pullouts on Greens Gap, that would be very helpful. We've had several crashes on Greens Gap. Some of them have been serious. The Greens Gap is currently posted. Most of the people that drive up and down that road are not adhering to the 30-mile-an-hour speed limit. And there's really nowhere for us to be able to safely enforce that speed limit zone on that road because the bar ditches are deep and there's nowhere to pull a vehicle off the roadway. The sheriff has been drafting and probably will have finished today a letter to DC regarding our wolf problem. keep y'all advised how that progresses on. And, as Commissioner McQueen had mentioned, I also got word today that the Wildlife Services is being shut down. It's gonna be effective the 3rd of August. So we might kind of put our minds together and see what we can do to fill that void. And other than that, I guess everything's business as usual. Thank you.
Thank you.
I got a quick question.
Yes.
On the 2 deputies that moved on, was it for promotion or more pay? What was the reason?
Now, I would anticipate that it was probably mostly financial. They moved on to greener pastures, and that's about all I know about it.
Okay. All right. Just wondering what we need to do to help you in retaining some of the deputies. I know you guys put a lot of effort into training with them, you know.
Yes, sir, and that's one of the reasons why the sheriff and I are in agreement that we're not just gonna pick up anybody. It costs the county a lot of money and a lot of time, to take somebody green off the street and send them through the academy and do the advanced training that we provided for them this last year and everything for them to pack up and move on.
Yeah. Well, let us know if there's anything we can do to
Okay, thank you,
help
sir.
in retention.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Hayes. No, tough situation, because you want youth and stuff, but then you get youth and get them trained up, and then they have opportunities to go everywhere. So, we'll now turn to Treasurer's report.
Treasurer's office is in training style.
Okay, that's good. They're having fun today.
I wouldn't call it that.
No? Oh, I thought I could hear the cheering from here.
You're
All
hearing-
right.
You're hearing something.
All right. All right, we'll move on now to presentations on Quemado Community Center utility easement. Mr. Tommy Padilla.
How are you folks this morning?
Good.
I'd like to speak with the county commission on, I have 160 acres between the Quemado Fire Department and the rodeo grounds where you guys are proposing to put the community center again. I don't know how far you are along with that, but I know you're gonna need utilities there. I don't know if you propose to put a septic system or but you're gonna need the sewer system at one time, aren't you, eventually?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Well, what I'm proposing is to let the utilities go through my 160 there to that area where you're gonna put the community center. And if we can come up to an agreement where they would be, because this is what I plan to do. Quemado is really short of housing. I mean, people come in, they cannot find a place to live. Teachers, Forest Service, whoever. There's just no housing. There hasn't been a new house built in Quemado in 30 years. And so I'm thinking on building some houses on the northwest side of my 160 there. And so if I would like to tap into the utilities for that housing, if you put it up there to the community center. And I know you're short of space on the fire department there. They want to expand, I guess.
Yes, sir.
You know, I would even entertain the idea of selling the county a couple of acres up there for an additional fire department, you know, on that. But it would be next to the housing development there.
Okay.
And so I just want to put this proposal forward and we can get together and see if it'll work for both parties, you know. The utilities would need to be where it would work for both of us. You know?
Yes, sir.
But I plan to start on the northwest quarter of the 160 near where the rodeo grounds, the corrals are, up in that area there.
Right.
You know, but let's see if we can get together and come up with an agreement that works for everybody. You know, I'm sure willing to talk. I've got the area to do it.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Yep. And then, Mr. Gustridge? Yeah, so we'll also, be able to, we'll visit with you concerning that and maybe what the capacity of the Kamado system might be. And then see the expansion. I mean, I'd like to see Kamado developed and improved as a community. And so I can tell you, just so that in case you heard rumors or whatever else, I was actually approached by a few members of the Catholic Church that talked about turning over their little hall deal that they have behind to the county, and us putting the community center right there, which is a central location in Kamado. But and then they would still have accessibility. You know, you use that building for the few times out of the year that they do. But the higher ups in the church shot that deal down. But yes, we considered doing the community center in multiple different spots, but we had decided up on the rodeo grounds because of the availability of space, and hopefully there will be expansion up there. That would be neat if there were some homes up near there. So we'll see what the future brings. All right. Now we're going to have a public hearing on solid waste management fees. So this will be good. Where did Zeno go? All right. So we'll. You want to lead us out?
Certainly, Mr. Chairman, members of the
Yes.
commission. Solid waste management fees are set by resolution. That said, there's a specific provision in the law which does require publication of those fees in a paper of general circulation, which this commission, or proposed fees, which this commission has done. And so at this time, it'd be appropriate to open it for public hearing, and I believe there's only a small change, and Mark can give he's the expert to give the reasons of why he's making these proposals and what they are.
Okay.
And then afterwards to open it up for the public to comment.
So for the commission review, do we look at 49/2025 resolution? Is that our documentation?
51/2025.
51, got it.
Yeah.
51, yep.
So, Mr. Atwood, would you like to comment on the fees and why? I know that we've talked about it, just so that people are here, why it's necessary, why we're considering this.
Okay, first of all, we're not raising the fees for solid waste.
Right.
We're just want to charge for the metal that comes in there. We're not getting enough money in return for the metal, and it's not profitable for us to haul. You know, so if we could charge 2 cents, we could probably break even and not even break even, but it would darn sure help the pain for solid waste, because solid waste is a separate entity. And we don't get any help from, you know, the county government or anything. You know, what we make is what we can spend, so we have to make it equal, and that's the reason why. And it's just for metal, that's all, not the solid waste fees.
And so the public knows the commission did request a profit and loss statement from solid waste in general to see if there was perhaps a bank of money that we can tap into. but there is not. That department is truly only passing on costs that are needed to break even. It's not to be a revenue generator for the county.
No, we do not do that, we just barely break even every year.
Yep. So it's just it's a service that's provided
That's
for
correct.
the counties, and so that we can also be under what our existing laws and ordinances are with trash. Is there any public comment or discussion with this? Yes, ma'am.
Is this, I don't see anywhere on here where this considers the rate increase for the dumpsters and.
No.
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, the
Yep.
rate increase by the dumpsters is an administrative function, so that can be done by the interim manager. It's not a solid waste fee under the law. It's a service that's being provided, so that's something that happens administratively and can be discussed with the interim manager. It's not. It has nothing. It's not on this.
Any other questions? I'm hoping that maybe here in the future, the price of scrap metal is going to go up, and it'll lessen the people bringing in scrap metal.
The price of metal goes up, and we'll reduce the cost or make it zero.
Yeah.
Okay?
And if you would, Mark, just for the public and for the record, can you tell us what fee is being proposed for the metal?
2 cents a pound.
I know Mark is also considering efficiency, maybe attaching a pup trailer to the truck that goes out and dumps the metal to, you know, get more of a return.
Well, even in solid waste, up trailer to pull behind, reduce the trips that we have to make over there.
Yeah.
So that'll help. And we're also, for everybody's information, we're trying to set up a dump trailer, a small dump trailer to service people like Luna, maybe 1 day a week, EDA, Wild Horse. But, you know, we bought the trailer and we're trying to get the pickup ready. And we gotta find somebody to do this and figure out a fee. But we are trying to get that to happen. Okay? Just so people.
Good. And if anybody knows of somebody with a commercial driver's license that is willing to haul some of these runs, I mean, too often I see Mark, God bless him, he's got plenty to do, but he can't get a good hire to haul the dumpsters or the trash metal. So if anybody has any ideas along that line, be sure to let us know. We will definitely interview them quickly.
All right. Yes, sir.
So Buster, and Mark, I'm just curious, what's the threshold of what Buster mentioned there? If the prices of metal came up, what's that threshold look like? And would that be disclosed in any way, Adrian, maybe, you know, in regards to the price dropping or going?
Well, that would be if the scrap metal prices go up, John.
To what? So what's the threshold?
4 cents. We can break even 4 cents per ton.
I think
And it
that's
hasn't
more
changed in the last 10 years.
appeasing to the citizens of the county as it relates to this.
Right.
You know, God knows I've, in my previous life, spent a lot of effort and time on solid waste with the county. But, you know, and certainly your old constituents and whatnot, you know, they don't like to see prices come up, but that's just the way of life sometimes. But entertaining the thought process of when there's a break-even point, that changes the price for specific to scrap.
So, Mark, was that an additional 4 cents a pound or a total of 4 cents a pound to break even? Okay.
All right. Yeah, and we'll be as transparent you know,
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's a good idea.
yep.
So, I don't think I mentioned, we only get 1.5 cents to 2 cents, depending, but nothing over 2 cents at the scrap mill.
Yeah, it's cheap.
It's pretty cheap, yeah.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. All right, we'll move on to action items. Or, do we need a break? Does anybody need a bathroom break?
Or do we need to come out of the public hearing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
By resolution or?
do we just,
Motion
By motion?
by motion?
to, yeah, to end the public hearing and
Okay.
reconvene the meeting.
So if there's no other comments
Regular
for the
portion.
public hearing, we will entertain a motion to resume
I'll-
regular.
I'll motion we pull out a public hearing and resume regular commission status.
I'll second.
It's been motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We'll now move on to action items. Approval of courthouse boiler repairs. Is there any discussion on this? It's within the packet.
Good seeing you, Sheriff.
Good seeing you guys.
Sharon, did you want to comment on this,
Boiler?
this boiler for the courthouse?
About damn time they're getting heat in there.
Okay, I thought you might want to comment
We're
on
afraid
That's it.
it's gonna be too hot.
No, you guys were too hot. Like,
it. All right, if there's no discussion on this, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion, we approve courthouse boiler repair.
I'll second.
It's been motion and second that we approve this. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next is approval of updates to the grant management and formerly HR job title and description. Do we need to?
Yeah, we do.
Okay. Is there any discussion on this?
I have some thoughts on this. I believe what we're proposing is we eliminate the human resources from or separate it from the grant manager position. But I believe we're also keeping it at the same salary level, advertised salary level. So what I propose, since we are eliminating some of the duties, keeping the same salary level, I believe there's some important factors that we could add to the job duties under grant administrator. It seems to me that if we have any difficulties in facilitating grants, it's typically when those grants go to a community center or say a park board, some area where we have volunteers that are in charge of facilitating the grants. And nothing against the volunteers, God bless them, we need them. But I think there needs to be a structure put in place when volunteers are in charge of developing projects using grant money. I would like to see the duties of the grant administrator to also facilitate some of these grants when volunteer groups are involved. And as an example, a duty would be to generate a plan in development and spending of the grant. And who better to generate a plan on how to spend the grant money than the grant administrator? I also believe they could keep the project on track by scheduling meetings and generating action items and timelines. They could also share responsibilities within the volunteer team and act as a project facilitator. So this doesn't mean that the grant administrator needs to know what it costs to drive a 10-penny nail. It has nothing to do with contracting. It has to do with assisting the volunteer group in more effectively coordinating the grant. So again, I'll just mention it. The duty would be to generate a plan in development and spending, keep the project on track by scheduling meetings and generating action items and timelines, sharing responsibilities within the volunteer team, and act as a project facilitator.
No? I think, so,
Pastor, if I may,
yes, ma'am.
as one of the volunteers that Katie was just speaking about and meeting with the county for the last 3 years on this project, that would be a blessing. Just trying to get meetings and trying to get things done has been a nightmare.
Right.
So to have somebody whose job it is to do that would make these projects go much smoother and much faster, and we wouldn't be in the position that we're in right now trying to spend a bunch of money in a short time.
Right, at the last second. Deb, so with the change in this, what would be our plan going forward concerning HR?
So I feel, and I've talked to Adrian about this, I feel that the HR duties can be retained by the manager's office.
Okay.
The manager specifically. So I'm comfortable retaining those duties in-house.
Okay. All right.
So I would make a motion, we add some additional job responsibilities, if you're ready for a motion. I'm sorry, I jumped ahead.
I don't, did you have anything else?
No,
I
I'm
have
listening to your
nothing further
motion.
on the discussion.
No further.
There was an idea by staff, I don't know if Becky wanted to expound a bit on some of her fiscal tracking.
I had talked about, because of the HR aspect being taken away, to have what they call budget oversight. And what that is it's a second person that assists me with a second set of eyes. When I get done with the budget, I think they go over it. And as far as audit purposes and everything, the auditors like that. They like to have a second set of eyes. Normally it would be the manager, but you could put it on the grants because the grants person is going to be dealing with their end of budgets anyway for all these grants. So it's just something else to throw in there that could, just a thought.
Okay.
I think we'd like to advertise this as soon as possible. Adrian, could I make a motion that that Deb work with the commission separately to add some additional responsibilities for project facilitation and for budget overview? Add those items to the duties.
Like how would we be able to motion that where we can process this right now?
Without waiting until next month.
Just that the interim manager be authorized to advertise for this position, taking into consideration individual comments from individual commissioners as she deems appropriate.
Did you get that? Huh?
The interim manager to advertise.
To advertise the position.
Of grant management administrator?
Taking into consideration suggestions by individual commissioners as she deems appropriate. And the reason we want to do that, we don't want to make a rolling quorum where we're going back and forth, but she can make that decision based on the individuals have their own comments.
Comments from individual commissioners. I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
It's been motioned, seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, approval of fire administration, emergency management job description and pay scale.
So commissioners, this one this was more of a placeholder in case I had heard back from the fire marshal's office, and I have not, so I would request that we table this.
Okay,
Could we approve, it's just I guess we can't approve the job description without hearing from him?
Yeah, you probably wanna make sure you hear back.
yeah.
Before we table it, I can comment, right?
Yes.
I will say that during the meeting with the district fire chiefs, there was concern from a number of the districts. The job description was very robust, and they believe that it may be necessary to have a part-time assistant to that position if we keep all of the responsibilities in the position. I'm not proposing anything, I'm just discussing that did come up. So we may end up discussing more along that line, or at least reviewing the responsibilities and come to a determination. That's all.
Okay.
So is there a motion to table?
I'll second.
Okay.
Okay, so it's been motion second that we table this?
I make a motion, we table it.
Yeah. So, Audrey motion, Hayden second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, direction to staff to publish entitled general and publish the title and general summary of an ordinance amending the personnel policy 08-2014 to modify appointed official pay system. I didn't have anything in the packet on this. What?
Was this the extra one you sent us?
This,
No, this is the one that you had requested, Audrey, about increasing pay, possibly?
It was Becky.
Oh, that
Becky.
was
This is-
Becky's
this
thing.
is-
I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, it was
Oh.
on the agenda, I guess, a couple of months ago, whatever, and I guess it got just put to the side because nobody knew what it was. This is, and Adrian, feel free to jump in and help me out here. When the raises were approved
Yes.
and the raises for the elected officials and the hourly and everything, the percentage that was approved also for the chief deputies, we did not realize that that couldn't be put in a resolution, that it had to be an ordinance. So that's what this is. They've not received that raise yet because it can't be put into place without an ordinance. So that's what this is.
hey,
And
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, it's a different system that, that goes through appointed official pay versus, versus regular employee pay, and so they're not eligible for those raises. I guess the request would be to change the ordinance to increase their pay, but they are not eligible for regular employee raises. Their raise, their salary is fixed based on the amount of the elected official's salary currently under the ordinance.
okay, but if it's fixed, when we raise the elected official, it raises the compensation of the chief deputy.
That is correct, and actually this commission went a step further than most counties. It isn't just tied to the elected official pay at the time. Just remember that elected officials can only be changed every, when their term of office comes in.
Right.
So basically, if an elected official's position is increased, however, that elected official won't get the increase for 4 more years because their term.
Right.
The appointed official gets the automatic increase no matter what. So they get increased when the resolution is passed, setting the official salary, not when the actual official gets the salary. So that's an extra benefit that this commission gives to appointed officials.
Right, so this thing has already taken place for those chief deputies, right?
Those chief deputies should have received their appropriate percentage raise granted to their elected officials in December of 24, 2 months ago. Now, I don't know what the discussion is on this one, but I guess it might be that the other employees got another percentage raise, and they want, and the thought is, I don't know, Becky, you have to go on that one.
So it was just put in, it was budgeted for 95% of the elected officials. The chief deputy was gonna be 95% of the elected officials. That's what we put, forward to you guys. And all that was approved, but I didn't realize at the time that the chief deputies had to be separate in an ordinance. So,
No, there might be massive confusion on this one.
Yeah.
Once you approve the elected officials' pay, the appointed officials' pay automatically goes into effect.
The chief
The
deputy.
chief deputy's pay goes into effect.
Yeah, so
Okay, so
our
we were-
county clerk, her chief deputy, that immediately went into effect.
She didn't get it though.
but they
Well,
have.
it should have immediately gone into effect. That's how the ordinance is
Okay,
set
well,
up.
somebody told me that we had to have an ordinance to do the chief deputy.
You have to have an ordinance to change their rate of pay, but their rate of pay, you have to change like their percentage that they get.
Yes.
Yep, yes, but not to increase or decrease their pay. That is tied automatically to Ordinance 03/2020.
Okay, so this is what it is. It is now at 85%. And so you would need the ordinance to go to the 95%?
No, currently what we have, the ordinance says the undersheriff receives 95% of the sheriff's salary, authorized salary. The sheriff's administrator gets 85%, the chief deputies get 85%. So when you increase that amount in December, then the 85% increases too, the amount that goes into that.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's handled. The chief deputies
Should have had an increase as of January 1st.
with the elected officials of the treasurer and
With all of the elected,
And the county
with
clerk.
all of the elected officials, because it's not based on when they take office, it's based on the approved amount, the authorized amount. So every elected,
Yep. We
appointed
didn't.
official should have received a raise as of January 1st under Ordinance 03/2020.
Okay.
So it
We-
should be handled.
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah, we didn't vote to change the other offices to 95%. So,
So it stays at 85%, is that what you're saying?
yes,
Oh.
But the 85% went up.
but the 85%,
How do I say that in a better way?
So the 85% is more, because the elected official was raised, they get more 85% of the.
yes.
That's right.
I understand it.
As
I
of
get it.
January
I get
1st.
it.
Okay.
So do we just table this?
Okay, so
No, just-
I
No
thought
action.
I thought that it was actually going to be like changed from 85% to a 95% increase.
The commission can consider that, but that said, that was not anything that was done in the budget. It was
Yeah.
just, or with that adoption of the resolution in December, which increased the amount that all elected officials get paid commencing their term of office.
So that's something we could look at.
Yes, and it was, and as far as the budget, it was budgeted in at 95% for chief deputies. So it's everything's there.
So we don't need to take any action.
There's no action. The elected officials have their rate of pay, and the appointed officials get the pay based on that automatically. There should not
Okay,
be.
so Adrian, does this create back pay then?
The back pay is illegal if it
Okay.
didn't get paid, it didn't get paid.
Okay. I know that's gonna be one of the questions.
Yeah, but the percentages should be figured out because the percentages didn't change.
It's gonna be the same.
So-
Okay.
So it's the percentage of the increase of that elected official.
I get it.
So, all right. Do we need to? So, direction to staff at this time would be,
I'm just Chairman, I think I would let it die for lack of a motion.
okay,
And then, staff needs to correctly put in the appointed official pay based on their respective elected officials' authorized payment amount.
right. All right. So, no action taken on D. On E, consideration of resolution 49/2020 2025, appointment to the Board of Registration to fill a vacancy. And, okay, so,
That is a resolution to fill the vacancy for our board of registration. It's to clean up the voter. It has a group that gets together and they look at names of all these voters that haven't voted in the last 2 presidentials.
Okay.
And so they look at these people and most of them are either passed away or they've moved, and they just go through names, and it's usually people from all over the county. It's not just one group, it's Democrat, Republican, Independent, we had to dig to find names. And Sharon Armijo wanted to be on the board.
Good.
So we put her on the board.
Oh, so these are your recommendations that are on the oh, good,
Yes.
good.
Tommy Chavez.
Okay.
Carl Bearer, he is here from Reserve, and Tommy's from Pomona. And they will be added to our board, which is already, we have 2 members still here. One of our members passed away, and then one moved, so we're just adding people. We have to have a 5-member board.
okay, so you're on board with your submits here?
Yes.
You
We're
know,
trying
her?
to get this fixed, so
I don't
we're getting
either.
it set up for the year, so.
Okay, all right, if there's no further discussion, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion, we pass resolution number 49-2025 as presented.
I'll second.
It's been motion seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Consideration of resolution 50-2025, budget adjustment number 6 for fiscal year 2024 to 2025. Any discussion? This is just the regular.
Standard stuff.
Is there any further discussion? Is-
I'll make a motion, we approve. this
I'll second.
resolution.
It's been motion and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Resolution, G, consideration of resolution 51-2025, solid waste management fees. This has been brought up, and okay, let's open the table, open the floor for discussion. Now this is just the only change here, so the only change is the 2% pound on metal. Okay. Is there any further discussion? Seeing as there is none, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion, we pass resolution 51-2025 as shown.
I'll second.
It's been motion and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
H, consideration of resolution 50-2025, annual maintained road mileage certification. So just for people, so that you, now I don't know where my page went. Just so that you'll know exactly what the county have to deal with.
Here it is.
Yes. Oh, thank you. So, Quamato has basically 500 miles, which they have to cover. 500 miles of road maintenance, and this is blading of dirt roads and maintaining roads. 497.93. Reserve has 209.53, so 210 miles. Glenwood has 202 miles, 201.42. So, all in all, the county is trying to maintain over 900 miles of road with bare bones staff and doing a pretty good job.
Yep.
So just thank you, Mark. Is there any discussion on this?
I'd just like to comment in talking to some of the surrounding counties, those counties that have 500 miles of road to maintain is pretty aggressive. So what our road department is doing is impressive as far as I'm concerned. One of the frustrations that the commission has is the money that we get via PILT for road maintenance is based on population. So even though a neighboring county has less miles than us, because their population's higher, they get more money to blade the roads. And you know, that's another reason why we're dealing with DC, because those decisions are made in DC. So I applaud Mark and his team.
All right, seeing as there's no further discussion, is there a motion? We just need to,
I'll motion we pass resolution 52, 2025.
I'll second.
it's been motioned and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item I, discussion regarding building a facility for inmates. We'll
Okay,
open the
so-
floor for discussion.
So I was visiting with the sheriff and undersheriff about this, and I think Mr. Hayes should probably take over here, and then we can discuss it. I think it's a good thing though. I think it could bring in money for the county.
So, where we're at right now, and I don't handle the contracts with the facilities that we're utilizing, but Los Alamos is probably spending $100 a day for every inmate that we're housing somewhere else. And so that's a pretty significant cost. Everybody's aware that our jail's been shut down. It's a holding facility just for long enough for us to do the booking process, find somewhere to transport them to, and then get them out of there. The transportation cost of having a deputy tied up, granted we have Mr. Meister that's doing most of our transports when he's available. A lot of times he's not. We have a deputy that's scheduled to be on the street that's having to run to Deming or Socorro or Gallup, Grants, all over the place. Go pick these people up, bring them back and forth to court, and whatnot. It's wear and tear on the vehicles. It's just a huge expense. I'm aware of several other detention facilities, Socorro's one of them, that actually do a contract with the federal government to maintain a certain number of beds within their facility for federal use. And it's my understanding that the feds pay for those beds whether there's an inmate in them or not. And the jail facility would help the sheriff's department out a lot, be an opportunity for the county to actually make money. I don't know what the pod systems are going for, like what they built over in Socorro a few years back, but it went up pretty fast, and I would anticipate that within a reasonable amount of time, the facility would be paying for itself, and it creates jobs and whatnot as well. So.
This kind of thing always, unfortunately, in our litigious world, always boils down to litigation and liability risks. Do you have any comments, Adrian?
Sure, we have an item on the agenda directly relating to a lawsuit. When we had a jail, I'll save them for that, because it's attorney-client privilege.
Could I make a comment?
Yes, ma'am.
I deal with Mr. Hayes' prisoners or inmates after they're arrested, and I think having a jail here would be beneficial. We lose accountability, not we, the court system and the public defenders being so overwhelmed lose accountability. Right now, we have an inmate sitting in the Socorro County Jail that's been there since 2021. They have not brought his case forward. He has not had a trial, and we have been paying housing on him since Clay Atwood arraigned him in 2021. The lack of accessibility of public defenders for these individuals that are in Deming, Torrance County, Cibola, they can't even get a hold of their their clients. In Cibola, the public defender can't even talk to them, so they have no clue what the story is. They have to wait until we get either in the courtroom or on a virtual hearing, and then they can talk to them, which doesn't work because the prosecution is there, so we have to go into recess, and then they'll have a discussion, and then we'll get back on. If we had a jail here, they would have accessibility to these inmates. They can talk to them at any point.
Yes, they can.
With them being in other counties, we have no way to offer them any sort of treatment or services through the program, which we have money for, to help them possibly change their lives, get into substance abuse, or, provide them with GEDs, provide them with services that could help them once they get out of the jail, that they're not back in the system. I mean, Socorro County has a program called the RISE program. They're teaching those inmates certified welding, they're getting their GEDs, they're providing them all kinds of services that when they get out of the holding facility, they can be members of the community and be productive and not go back into the circle of selling drugs or doing drugs. They can support their families.
Right.
I mean, there is potential. And the transportation thing, like he was saying, the other day I got a call from somebody that was arraigned, put in Socorro County Jail. They let him out. The court over here dropped the paperwork. There was no transport order done. And the guy was sitting on the street. He had no phone. He had no ID. He had no billfold because he was arrested from his house. I mean, there's got to be a liability when we're leaving people on the street in another county. I had to drive and pick him up, so I see a huge benefit of thinking about having an inmate facility here for inmates.
Can I say something?
For sure.
I'll just mention that the per day housing is quite a bit over $100 a day. I think I want to say it's between $150 and $160 a day.
And like visiting with Ronnie about it, it's not like we have to put it right here in reserve. Like if we could find some property or something that's out in the north eastern part of the county, they'd be close to Socorro Hospital where they could transport them. They could, it could bring more jobs to Catron County, get people that are certified, run it right. But whenever they're paying us, either way, and we're not paying for all these inmate transportations and rooms and everything, I think this could be a really good thing for our county.
So, Adrian, without getting into the lawsuit details that we're in now, we've had this discussion in the previous commission. Could you lay out the litigation liabilities that we have, the trading issues?
So, let me just lay this out. Detention centers are the largest liability that a county faces whatsoever. And I definitely respectfully disagree with them. It would be nice to have a detention center here, but that said, $100 a day is, when another county takes on the liability, is very cheap. Wear and tear on the vehicle is very cheap. To have a federal contract, I administer those federal contracts. We would have to have in-house medical, which in a county close to Albuquerque costs $2 million a year, just basics, and we would have to have we would have to have the beds. We would have to have a facility much greater than PMS, which I'll tell you that we can't get it in Socorro, we can't get it in Cibola, the county, the chances of getting it in reserve to get any federal funds are next to impossible. Moreover, with the in-house without that medical service, the liability on the county right now is under the Civil Rights Act is astronomical. And it's my personal opinion, if representing 7 counties, if I could shut down every one of those facilities, because they are costing millions and millions and millions of dollars, even the ones that have federal inmates. and have them somewhere else. And it's not that the idea is bad, it's that under our system of litigation, under our state and the way the legislature set up our, our liability, it just destroys every county that touches it. So I would stay away from it personally.
Well, and I think that that's what we have to consider as a commission is, where the cost benefit ratio comes in, and when we're dealing with a certain number, if that ratio would turn in the favor of building that, then.
Correct.
But I don't think that we're there
Absolutely.
now.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, it's too bad that, some things have changed that way, because there's a jail up there in Kamado that we could transition and use right there by your place, Tommy.
Yeah, just gotta expand.
Yeah. All right. So, is there any further discussion? I think that this will be something that we need to put more on paper and stuff, because there's lots of it sounds awesome to be able to have our own facility, but when you consider all the cost and the potential to litigation, and within the structure that New Mexico has set up,
Well,
it makes it tough.
I just think that, there's definitely some homework that needs to be done, but like there's those facilities that are functioning places. Otherwise, nobody would have one. So
Yes.
if there's a will, there's a way. We need to go talk to people where, like if we have to have a huge insurance, whatever it is, I think that if there's a will, there's a way. We just got to do it right. And there's a lot more to it than just saying we're going to do it.
Right.
We've got to check in, but we're going to look at spending more and more and more, and we could be making money instead of spending money.
I know with the last commission, the perfect storm happened with our jail, and we essentially had to shut it down. So during that time, the majority of the information received was all con. Here's all the problems with having a facility, a detention facility. So I would love to hear the pros and cons, and get a better understanding.
Yep.
If it's something that the commission's interested in, I think that you could have that discussion with the Association of Counties, has all of those numbers.
Yeah.
And they can set them out. They can set them out, the pros and the cons, and that sort of thing. And they can give you all the information that's requested, and then the commission can make a decision.
Yeah.
It needs to be appropriate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I know without the granting of a lot of money in that area, we're definitely not in any kind of financial deal to undertake that.
And so everybody knows when you go to commission or elected official training, the first thing that they tell you in front of every one of the training sessions is your number one concern is litigation. In every single category. This is the most litigious society we've ever had. And unfortunately, our politicians in Santa Fe support that.
They want it. They want us to have to pay out because they're all lawyers.
Yeah, so I'm always in a mild litigation panic. All right.
All right. If there's no further discussion, we'll move on to J, consideration of Omega Road speed limit. Mr. Hayes, you commented on this a little bit, and so.
And Mr. Chairman, if I might, let me just outline really quick the requirements for setting a speed limit.
Yes.
So that we can, be aware of it. So there is a speed limit that's generally set by the state by state law, and that's even on roads that aren't managed. And so that is 15 miles an hour where there's school children, 30 miles per hour in a residence or business area, 35 miles per hour on a county road, and 75 miles per hour on the freeway. So that's what, so right now the speed limit is, unless it's changed by this commission, is 35 miles an hour. Whether or not there's a sign, it's 35 miles an hour, unless, you know, there's around houses and stuff, and then it goes down to 25. So the Board of County Commissioners may alter or establish speed limits lower than those established by law on county roads if the the speed limit is deemed to be reasonable and safe under local conditions. The alteration of the state limit is approved by the state highway department, and the commission posts signs that conform the specific specifications set forth in the manual. So that's how it's changed.
So with understanding of that, so right now, somebody could be pulled over for going 60 on a county road, even though it's not posted, be
Speed limits
ticketed.
are 35 miles an hour. Yeah.
Mr. Hayes,
My question is, Adrian, when did they change it?
What? I'm sorry.
We missed that legal update apparently. When did they change that?
To the speed limit.
Yeah.
35.
To the 35. That was changed in 2016.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's probably why I missed that update. So it sounds to me like that we could go ahead and post those roads at what the statute currently says, and that would probably make a big difference.
yeah, I think that would be appropriate. We could look into what it would cost to, you know, put a few signs up, and then, yeah,
And
I mean-
the sheriff conveyed to me this morning that you know, if we had somewhere, Omega Road's another one, the right-of-way fences are close to the road.
right?
On most of it, there's really not any places where there's decent pullouts where it'd be safe to execute a traffic stop and get them off the road. If we could kind of look at maybe trying to fix that on Greens Gap on Omega Road.
But you get into right-of-way issues, when you
Yeah, well,
can't, you know.
that, I didn't know where it would work or how it would work. But that's one of our issues. One of the big problems that we've got, you know, I can't pull somebody down on Omega Road for them not to have anywhere to go. We're not gonna sit in the middle of the road and block the rest of the traffic while we're taking care of our business.
That'd slow everybody down though.
Well, for a minute it would.
Yeah.
So I guess the question is, if it's state statute on a rural dirt road, that it's 35 miles an hour, do you have to post it?
No.
Shouldn't the driver know the
You are. I mean,
laws and
it's
regulations?
in this particular statute, and it's. I mean, it's like. Unfortunately, there's tons of laws out there that, you know, well, I didn't know that was illegal. You still get arrested. The speed limit is 35 miles an hour, and if it's better, it's way better to post it. I mean, and that certainly, I can see where, you know, certainly the undersheriff, or, you know, it's a burden on law enforcement. You still have to go before a judge, and the judge can say, well, it wasn't posted, or the judge can say that's not fair because it's not posted. But it doesn't legally, it doesn't have to be posted. But they would be much better supported if it were posted. I mean, if you can put up signs that reflect the speed limit, that is helping everybody out.
Those signs aren't expensive at all. I mean, they're not bad at all.
Are there areas, Ron, that you would like the speed limit to be less than 35 along those roads?
I don't know about over on Omega because I'm not on that road very often. Maybe Mark can speak to that because he kind of knows the layouts. The one that I am on often is Greens Gap. And
It's not as bad as Green Gap Road, but there is plenty of traffic over there, and they do fly.
okay. On Greens Gap, I'm only aware of 2 signs, maybe 3. There's one just as you come off the highway there at the cattle guard when you're headed west. Then there's one just west of the Sugarloaf subdivision road. Is there another one up there by the mailboxes, or are those the only two?
Here's the reason I bring it up. Mark's crews are real good about knowing where they should be posting warning signs.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
and instead of the speed limit, I've noticed, for instance, on Racetrack Road, where you start to come around the corner, and it sure as heck shouldn't be 35 miles an hour. They'll post warning signs, slow down signs.
Sure.
You know, that sort of thing.
Well, and I think if we get these roads signed and we figure out a way where we can start doing some enforcement on them and get these people to slow down, it's gonna help Mark out a bunch too. I know on Greens Gap, we've got people that are passing people because they're not going fast enough. I clocked one the other day that was coming at me that was running 60. I flashed my lights at them, but that's tearing up that road. Generally,
That's right.
between it being so dry and the traffic running like it is, Mark's guys will be out there blading Greens Gap. 2 days later, it's all beat out, back to washboards and just a mess. So, when we get people to slow down, that would sure help.
I
with
sure
maintenance
like the
costs.
idea of putting up signs, and Mark's crews are real good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know, Mr. Hayes, don't you think, I mean, 35, and that way it's already down. We're not changing anything for Catron
I
County.
would say that'd probably be fine. If we can get them down below 60, that would probably be a big help.
Yes, sir.
Well, my feel is, if we put up a sign, I'd like to see it enforced.
Yes, sir.
The whole thing, otherwise
Yeah.
the sign would.
Yeah.
Well, and the truth is, I've been on some of Mark's roads that were just bladed, and you want to do 60. I mean, they are
Sure, they're
smooth.
good. Yeah.
Start putting some moguls in it,
Yeah.
Mark, it'll slow everyone down.
And one thing that we can do,
Better than the state highway.
one thing we can do on our end for enforcement, there's nothing that says that we have to actually execute the traffic stop within a certain area. I can get deputies to set locations on these roads where there is a pull out. And if we have to take them all the way to the highway before we pull them down, we can do that and start hanging some paper, and maybe the word will get out that
Yeah.
enough is enough.
The whole thing, the word gets out.
Yes, sir, it doesn't take long, generally.
So
Shoot their vehicle with a paint gun, mark them. Maybe like an air gun, shoot the ticket in their window. I don't know.
Gee.
Just thinking of.
And the other, I mean, certainly the undersheriff could talk, he knows more about this than I do, but also, just, for the public's information, there's also, just because it's 35 miles an hour doesn't mean you can go 35 miles an hour. There's also reckless driving, and you know what, if there's snow or it's, actually, by the way, there's a law that says you cannot drive on them when the road's muddy and tore it up either, but that's a whole different one. But yeah, if there's snow or if there's a lot of traffic, or if the conditions don't allow you to go to 35, I mean, you could be ticketed for reckless driving, even if you're going 35 miles an hour on a county road, if the conditions don't exist.
Right.
So, what kind of a motion do you want, Mark?
Well, it looks like the road department's gonna have to buy the signs and put them up, so,
He wants a motion to fund it.
you took the words right out of my mouth.
All 500 miles, huh?
That's right.
So really, we aren't
Talking
need,
about 2 roads right now.
right, yeah, 2 specific roads that we're needing to do it on. So on this consideration, we really don't need to do anything on it. So we just let
It's
it,
in your budget, right, Mark?
Yeah, but we'll take care of it.
If after the discussion, everyone is satisfied with the speed limit and doesn't want to reduce it, because
Right.
It's my understanding that we want to reduce it from the speed limit currently.
no, understanding the law there, I think we're sufficient.
If-
Mr. Hayes?
If y'all would consider adding Burson Road from the cattle guard coming off the 12 down to at least right in the area of the last
We did buy
house
some
there.
signs for that.
Is there some over there? Okay, I hadn't been on it it's been, what, a month and a half?
35 miles.
Okay, good.
Okay? All right, well, so do we need to state
I don't
anything
think
on
there's
that?
anything that needs to be done at that point.
Okay, we'll move on to 11 and 12. We can roll those together.
Yes, sir.
So, is there any discussion on approval of checks and registers and approval of payroll? After going over things? There's no discussion, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion we approve 11 and 12.
Second.
So a motion and seconded that we approve 11 and 12. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we'll now have a motion and roll call vote to recess regular session and go into executive session. And that pursuant to New Mexico State Statute, Section 10-15-1, only the following matters will be discussed in closed session. We'll now have is there a motion to recess regular session?
I'll second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Roll call vote. Buster Green? Aye.
Audrey McQueen, aye.
Hello, how are you?
Any questions on what's going on with the state?
So I know what's going on and like, we're trying to just, because we haven't figured out where the county ever even did that. I think it's just been getting used, so like we're trying to nail it down to get something set, so I don't think you're wrong here. But I just chose to stay out of that community center mess. Andy.
I really enjoy that room. I got stories to tell you.
Yeah.
Did I send you that already?
We will now have a motion and roll call vote that matters discussed. So all that horse stuff at the end, that wasn't part of the executive. It's just only what,
We didn't hear that.
yeah, it's only time that we can talk horses.
Well, wasn't it on the agenda? Talk and talk?
Real estate, I thought it was.
It was real estate.
Yep. Okay, so we'll now have a motion and roll call vote that matters discussed in closed session were limited to those specified in motion for closure and that no final action was taken as per New Mexico statute, section 10-15-1. So, is there a motion to reconvene?
I'll make a motion that we reconvene.
I'll second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Roll call vote.
District 1,
Buster Green, no action taken.
District 2,
Audrey McQueen, no action taken.
District 3,
Moving forward, no action taken.
Thank you. So the next commission meeting will be March 12th, 2025, 9 a.m. right here, Fire Administration Building. Oh,
Will state be done by then?
what?
State playoffs.
March 12th?
Is that the last round of it?
Yeah, but I think it starts on that Thursday. I mean, anyway, we'll be in talks. There is a possibility that we might have to do some kind of change, but we won't know until closer then, when time schedules are made for state playoffs.
And I hope we do have to change it, Buster.
I know, me too. So,
We've got some good players.
we do. We should be ranked third in state right now, and we're first in districts. So, and we play reserve Thursday here.
I gotta make it up here.
You should have been there for the Cliff game, because we
Yeah.
beat them good.
I'm glad I wasn't there for that one. I would have had to root for Cliff.
That's all right.
I would have had to. It's where the board is, and
I can't even, you are not even gonna sit here anymore.
okay.
You can't root for Cliff.
If you want to sit on the losing side, that's fine. No, I think we play reserve
I gotta
at
be
3:30
bored.
or something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Should be a good one. Right? Yeah, just one junior game and then it goes straight to varsity girls and then varsity boys.
I did go to a game in Thatcher, and the boys team was coming up. It was the women's team that was playing. It was Thatcher.
Right?
And Boyce team was coming up, and they said everybody hates them because they've got a bad reputation, bad sportsmanship, hard fouls on the floor. Have you heard the same thing?
No.
I figure they must be coached that way.
I don't know. We coach to play hard, but we coach to play clean.
Yep.
Yep. So,
Dirty stuff.
Except for my daughter, she takes half the team out every time.
I know with her suplex move. She does WWF wrestling. You don't want to grab a jump ball with her because she'll.
Those poor little girls, Taylor's a pretty solid girl, those girls get up and they're like limping off, and then the coach, you can just see them, they're like, you gotta go back in, and they're like, no.
Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.